Histo.
And we're live, baby. Oh, what the fuck was that tongue thing, though?
You like that tongue?
Nah, I don't like that. That's a new addition.
I'm respawning that from the OG days, if you know what I mean. The lizard days.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Welcome back to another episode of the Outlier podcast, guys. We have a super controversial
Oh shit.
episode for you guys today. I'm kind of nervous to see, we might fuck up and say some horrible shit. We'll see.
Yeah.
You got to be careful when we talk about this.
Not me though.
Let's start off with the would you rathers before we get into the deep shit.
Yeah,
you got some from the chat, right?
I got one. So, would you rather spend 5 years in a coma or 10 years in a prison? That one's easy for me.
5 years in a coma or 10 years in a prison? Go answer first because I have to think about this.
Coma.
Coma?
That one's easy for me, bro.
Why is that?
You're going to wake up with the best rest of your life. And then you think about it, the time's going to, you don't even realize the time. You're in a coma. You don't realize that, you don't have to go through the misery of the 10 years in prison and, all the troubles and stuff that goes along with it. In 5 years, you wake up and it's like nothing ever happened.
Well, my question is what are the side effects of being in a coma for that long? Are you like a vegetable or are you like...
Well, I think that really depends on why you were in a coma to begin with, right? Like what caused you to fall into
a coma?
Comoism?
Yeah, but I feel like that would be like, kind of guaranteed that you wake up with brain damage and all types of issues. So if you're fine with that, then, fuck it.
No, well, I'm not fine with that. I want to be all discombobulated when I get out. But I just thought, in a medically induced coma. That's what I thought. Like them. It says coma.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was gonna go through some damn tragedy.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I agree with you though because I'd rather do a coma. I was just curious about the details of the aftermath, but I would for sure rather do 5 years. It's just. Of course, we don't know, but you assume that you don't have any real sense of time while you're in a coma, right? So
that's another interesting thing.
Right? That's a plus. We don't know, right? But who knows? Maybe you're just in your head for those 5 years, just miserable, right?
I'll knock your ass out for 5 years so you can find out.
But I'm gonna go with the coma for sure too because 5 years versus 10, fuck it.
What would y'all do? Comment down below.
Yeah, let us know what you guys think. The next thing I want to talk about is actually you brought it to my attention. It's one of your favorite people, Ben Shapiro. He posted
my favorite.
He posted a Instagram post of this person. I don't know how to refer to him. Named Brian. I don't know how to say it. Nguyen. I don't know. He is a transgender female, and he won a beauty pageant. First place against like these beautiful, like in my opinion, they're pretty good looking women, right?
Yeah.
And let me just show you guys the video. I don't know what else to say. This is like
Brian Wen, who is 19, has become the first transgender contestant to win a local Miss America organization beauty pageant. Brian is an overweight dude. Brian violates all traditional standards of what a woman is and all biological standards of what a woman is because he is, in fact, not a woman.
Well, she's a guy, so...
He also would violate, even if he were a woman, what sort of traditional beauty has constituted. If a woman like that won a beauty contest, you'd be like, that's kind of strange because that's not a traditionally beautiful woman in any way, shape, or form. But that's the whole idea, right? You violate all the rules, you destroy all the rules, and then once all the rules are destroyed, then anybody who stands up for the rules is the transgressor. Brian Wen, who is 19, has become the first...
Yeah, and that's interesting. What he says is that's kind of the whole agenda is to kind of violate all the rules, right? That's what he says.
Well, yeah, that's what the conservatives believe is that all these liberals are basically turning the black and white into very gray areas, right? And we kind of don't really know the boundaries anymore. We don't know reality anymore. It's like everything's pretty blurred. And so for what I'm trying to get to is like in this instance, like what is beauty? Why should we define beauty? So that's the message that's being pushed here. Why this guy, Brian whatever, wins, right? Is because we're not going off of the traditional beauty anymore. Because, well, who defines beauty? Why do you all get to define beauty, right? And so, but then it starts to get gray and it starts to get weird, bro. Like, you mentioned this really good before we started off air about like, imagine how they feel, like all the work that they have put. I don't know what goes into beauty pageants, but I'm sure there's like some dieting, some type of exercise. They take care of themselves. They take care of their skin. Their whole lifestyle is pretty much altered to be beautiful, and it all for a biological male trans woman comes up and just she's ugly or he's ugly and and he wins. Like, come on, like how does that happen? It just gets weird, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I just find it interesting, right? That like in my head, I was like, when I first heard about this, from the headline, I was like, man, it's probably like a really beautiful trans woman, right?
Because they're out there, right?
They're out there, man. There's lots of them that you could like look at and be like, damn, that's a beautiful woman. And then like they'll have like
You find out they're a guy.
yeah, they used to be a guy. And so that's what I was thinking, right? Which is like not that bad, but this was kind of like a pity. Like you can tell they did this to further an agenda. They didn't do that because that person earned it, right? Obviously not. It's a beauty pageant and this person's not the most attractive person. Like that's what it is, right? So it was kind of gifted and to further their agenda, which is obviously I'm not cool with that. I don't agree with that. I think anything that you win you should earn, right? Like
Yeah.
in my opinion. So
Yeah, you said it good. It's all pity, right? So they're compensating for the way this person feels, essentially.
yeah.
And I'm gonna coin Ben Shapiro's famous quote, where facts don't care about your feelings. Like he
Yeah.
always says that, and that's true in this instance, right? Because everybody else sacrifices, and just because this person feels like the most beautiful, they win. Like it doesn't work like that. Like the world is a conditional place. You don't get what you want because you feel like you want it. You get what you want because you work for it.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I think it's stupid, and I hope that I hope we stop seeing silly stuff like this, bro.
Yeah. Well, how do you feel about transgender people even being allowed to compete with them?
Oh yeah. Well, I just don't think that. I think that male and female divisions should be completely separated in all competitive sports, whether physical or not. Because even for the beauty pageant, like women have different bone structures and stuff like that. So if you're gonna go basis off like women beauty, you're gonna judge it based, differently from a male, right? I would assume.
Yeah. But it's a woman though.
It's not a woman, bro. It's a guy.
By definition, right? But that's what they identify as. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. For some reason, I don't really have an issue with that. For
I
me.
see it.
Because I feel like the odds are stacked against them in that, right? As opposed to like,
yeah, but see, that's where I have a problem with that fundamentally. Like, also, you only have a problem when the odds are with them, but not against them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I don't subscribe to that just because I feel like there needs to be fundamentally just a line that's like,
yeah, I agree, right? It has to be black and white, but for some reason, I don't have an issue with it. Like, if they're willing to put themselves, like, obviously with the odds against them, then like, let them do that, right? But if they want to go and be a fighter, right, that's different because you are obviously gonna murk everyone you fucking fight. Like you're gonna beat their ass. So,
and I can see that, bro.
So I have no problem with you putting yourself at a disadvantage. But in this case, it didn't matter, right? Like they got the trophy, like their beautiful queen, and everything's fucking terrific in their world, you know?
Yeah. I get what you're saying because at least nobody's getting the shit beat out of them, right? Like that's. But I always try to think fundamentally, like if we're not gonna cross any boundaries this way, then we shouldn't cross any boundaries that way. This is the way I think. I think it makes things a lot more simple.
Yeah, I agree. But I wonder how many girls that competed in this and like spent so much time, money, effort, invited all their family out, to come watch them compete, hoping they're gonna win. I wonder how many of them are upset, right? Because they put their time, energy, money, effort into all this, this long process of a pageant for them just to already know who the winner is before they even fucking really even saw anything, That was obviously a planned winning, right? But what sucks is that these people probably don't express how upset they are, right? That this achievement got taken from them, because if they speak out, they're gonna be canceled or bombarded, or they're gonna lose their job or whatever it may be. So there's repercussions for speaking your mind and for being upset when they truly deserve the right to be upset, in my opinion.
Yeah, but if they had the mentality, a union of mentality that, let's just say, like, the guy wins, right? Where is it, Brian?
Yeah, Brian.
Let's say Brian wins, in that moment, all the other pageants get upset. They don't say anything verbally. They just all walk out because they're just not having it. Guess what? The pageant's gonna realize that they need them more than than the contestants need the pageant. You know what I mean? And that's not gonna happen again, right? You don't need to cause any violence. You don't need to harm anybody. If they simply just walk out of that facility, that's gonna leave a pretty good message on that. That's why I always tell people, like, when you have a problem with something, just don't give it any attention. The more attention you give it, the more wood you're adding to the fire, is what I believe.
Yeah, that's a good point. But nowadays, who knows if they were even upset, right? Who knows? Could be that they were like super supportive and happy for this person, but I'm just saying,
I hope not.
I'm just saying how I would feel, right? If I spent so much time, money, and effort into something just for it to be wrongly judged, right? Because it's a beauty pageant, but there is other aspects like intellectual stuff that they do and shit like that. But come on, at the end of the day, it's like you pick the best person that fits the criteria, and we can all see that wasn't the case, right?
Yeah.
So
you can dress up and go ahead and win a beauty pageant.
Yeah, right. Hopefully we don't upset anyone with this this podcast, but I mean, I'm sorry, right? But if you don't agree, you're welcome to fight us in the comments. We have.
I'm not sorry.
You're not sorry?
No.
I'm gonna make you sorry.
There's a rule in one of Jordan Peterson's book that says, don't apologize for nothing you're not sorry for. Truly sorry for. I'm not sorry for that. That's what I believe.
You know who was sorry though? Nah, I don't think he was sorry.
Who's that?
The guy who did the Colorado Springs shooting.
Oh snap!
I was just thinking,
that guy's a little psychopath.
Yeah, so I think you're more familiar with this topic than I am. I don't know if you want to explain what happened.
Sure. Yeah. So this happened on Monday, I believe. And I watched a couple of reports on it and everything. So essentially, this guy from Colorado Springs committed a hate crime where he went to an LGBTQ club and he killed 5 people and left 19 others injured. He went with an AR, a semi-automatic AR, and another weapon. I'm not too familiar. I don't know.
I think it was a pistol.
Yeah, that's what I think too, but I'm not too sure. And he was just going crazy in there until 2 Patreons, 2 people that were in there, beat his ass and tackled him down, and then obviously the police got there and everything like that. I think what the interesting part of this is, and I think more interesting than what actually happened, is that this guy has a terrible criminal record. Just a year prior, he threatened to kill his mom, and it's on camera where the mom was calling the cops, and he says, if they enter, I'm gonna bomb the whole house. So he did like a bomb threat.
Oh,
right?
Shit.
This happened just 1 year before he just did this. But they couldn't do anything, apparently, because that the family didn't want to press any charges and they didn't want to get any law involved. So they couldn't revoke him from any of his rights. And so he was allowed to go get an AR. He was allowed to go get all this other stuff. And that's basically what led to all this. I mean, I have a problem with that, bro, because like I'm pro gun.
Yeah.
Like I'm pro Second Amendment. But there's cases like this where our law enforcement doesn't handle situations properly to where this happens, right? Like that guy obviously shouldn't have been able to have an AR or, even buy a gun, even a handgun.
Yeah.
And but unfortunately they didn't handle it well. And this guy, and the thing is, I don't think there's any like anything prior to this happening of like him being racist, but obviously
Well,
maybe not racist.
What's the word? Prejudiced. I think
There you
prejudice
go.
is like against every.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're correct.
Mhm.
So like, there's nothing documented that he was previously prejudiced, but obviously this proves that
Yeah.
he's prejudiced.
Yeah. I agree. Right. I'm all for guns. Because I think it's important to be able to protect yourself if there's a danger. I don't know. I think it wasn't handled right, but at the same time, I'm like, these cops probably had their hands tied, because there's not really anything you could do when it comes to law, right? Like you can't just take his gun away because he seems like a threat. Like there's laws they have to go by, right? So
I think that I think that FBI should have got involved. Is my opinion. Like if somebody's
Yeah.
like if I say that I'm gonna bomb a place,
that's a huge.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
FBI needs to get involved. There needs to be underground investigations being done. This guy needs to be watched over.
But
and,
you
be found
you would
out more.
think that would be enough to get his Second Amendment right, suspended at least, right, for now until further investigation or whatever it may be. But he was still able to get a gun and do what he did. The guy was only 22 years old when he did that. That's 2 years younger than me. That's 4 years younger than you. That's still like, a guy coming out of his adolescence, right? Like barely becoming a young man. So I always wonder what like drives people to do things like that. And
Like hate crimes or just in general? Like
most
murders,
everything, right? But in this case it was a hate crime, so it makes me wonder if maybe this guy was dealing with demons inside his own head of maybe being gay, right? That could be a huge factor, right? Because there's lots of people like that are afraid to admit who they are, and so they hate what they are passionately, if that makes sense. So he was like he was kind of trying to harm them for being like him in a way. But obviously I don't know, right, if this guy was, but that's what I assume, because why would you hate someone that much, unless it's something you're struggling with yourself. These people were gay, right? Correct? It was like a gay bar.
Yeah, it's a gay bar. I don't know like if all of them were gay, because I know one of them was like one of the guys had a girlfriend who was there with his girlfriend. So I mean, I don't know whether they're gay or not. Like, I don't care if people are gay. I don't care what race they are, whatever it is. It's not okay to take somebody's life, right? Whatever.
Yeah, bro.
And I think this guy is a piece of crap, and I think that he needs to be. I don't know what the death penalty is over there, but death penalty or jail for life, prison for life. But this guy needs to be put away, bro.
Yeah, 100%. He killed 5 people and injured 19 others. So that's like it's a long time to be shooting, right? If you're able to hit 19 different people and kill 5. And he said 2 people ended up tackling him and taking him down.
Yeah, one of them was an ex-military guy who was there with his family. So he was there with his wife. Super weird, right? Like he was there with his wife.
At a gay bar.
With his wife and his daughter and her daughter's boyfriend, which the boyfriend was one of the ones that passed away. So he just said, I don't know how long it took, because I had the same question that you had. It's like, okay, how long was he able to pull this off? Because 19 people plus 5, that's a long time. But apparently this guy just, his military instincts kicked in. And in his words, I needed to eliminate the threat. So essentially, like he was really trying to kill him. The guy's hospitalized right now. By the way, he was supposed to have court today. The guy that committed the hate crime,
Yeah.
but they injured him so bad that he's in like, I don't know, critical condition, but like he can't leave the hospital. He's hurt pretty bad. They beat his ass pretty bad. He deserved it.
That's good, bro. I'm glad they did, bro. Like I would hope I would do the same thing, right? But who knows? Because you don't know until you're in that situation. I'm glad there's people like that military guy that exists, bro, because we need heroes, right? We can't all be heroes. And so we need those people around for sure. Especially with that background, he's literally fucking built for that shit, you know? So congrats to that guy for doing the right thing and eliminating the threat, as you said.
Yeah.
Said. Do you think you would do that? You'd tackle his ass down?
You see, I think that immediately probably not. I think that, but if he's over here,
nah, I think if I see him reload, bro, I'm going for it. If he starts reloading,
okay, that's what I'm saying. Immediately, once you start hearing shooting, you're gonna drop. Mm-hmm. But if you see like an open opportunity, this guy's loading a clip to blast you. I gotta go.
You gotta take that chance. Yeah, 100%. I wonder if that's what happened. He was probably reloading or pulling out his second gun or whatever it may be. But regardless, he took him down. So that's what matters.
Yeah. I think immediately I would be pretty freaked out. And then once everything, because I'm pretty sure you gather yourself at a certain point, right? Like maybe 30 seconds to a minute in, which is a long time. And you're like, damn, I got to do something. If not, I'm going to, or in this case, that guy had a whole family there. So he was going to lose his family and possibly himself. So you got to act.
Well, I feel like everyone's first reaction is run, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty sure everyone fucking skedaddled out that hoe.
I heard this one story from this guy that was in the bar, and a girl went to him and hugged him, and the bullet punctured her, but didn't puncture him. So she saved his life. But she was telling him, get down. She died on top of him.
Oh my God.
But she was telling him, get down. And she went to go like hug him, and for both of them to get on the floor. And the bullet hit her.
That's fucking sad, bro. That's sad.
Yeah, the way he was saying, like, not only did that girl die on top of him, but he lost his boyfriend. So his boyfriend got killed also.
Fuck, man.
So you can just imagine what that guy's going through. He seemed pretty composed, though. He got interviewed. And, like, if you were to, like, see him, because he doesn't expose that until the end, you would think that he didn't just go through a traumatic incident. Like he seemed fine, and then he finished the story, and I was like, bro, how are you not like in shambles right now?
Yeah, there's people like that, bro, that just are super good under stressful situations, But for sure, that guy goes home at night and like thinks about it and probably breaks down, right? But some people can put on that face, especially for the camera. So sucks, man. You hate to see it, man. Hate to see it. I don't know how many times we're gonna talk about regulations needing to be stricter and more efficient, because this guy for sure should have been on the top of the list to take a gun away from, especially after all those threats. That's like exactly what you have to weed out when it comes to guns, right? But unfortunately, that didn't happen. I don't know if that will ever happen, because there's a whole movement behind the gun nation, right? To not get anything regulated. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, you see, the thing, it gets tricky because I don't know if you know this, but it goes to the states. So, like in Texas, that guy would have possibly had his rights taken away, but in Colorado, that's not the case. Like,
really?
Yeah. So they were talking about it, how
that's interesting though, because Texas is a red state and then Colorado's a blue state, no?
Yeah, but that doesn't matter because different states have different restrictions.
Yeah, but you would think that it would match, right?
Saying.
Yeah. That's weird.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I'm going to get me a gun, bro. I need to get me a gun, 100%. Especially and when I'm trying to be, I need to learn how to use them. So, interesting time, bro. Interesting time. I never thought I would get a gun or even be interested in getting a gun. But I feel like there's nothing wrong in having one for that special occasion that you got to peel them off the cat back blue,
Yo.
right?
No, yeah, bro. I think it's important. I think that
Do you have
the
one?
main
Do you have one yet or no?
no.
Oh, okay.
Well, not one to myself, but I shoot a lot. So,
Mm.
and my dad and brother have like a bunch
Are
of
you
guns.
are you a
and-
good shot?
Oh, I'll take you out
No,
in between the eyes.
Just let me know so I could get a hug beforehand. I'll tell some chick to hug me, cover me real quick.
Bro, that's trash, bro. What are you saying?
That was fucked up.
Somebody
man.
clip it and somebody cancel this man.
That was fucked up, huh? Wait, was that incident that just happened Monday, huh?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, that was way too soon. I apologize.
So you just give it a little bit of time and you're good or what?
I mean, I think so, right? Eventually, you got to be able to joke around, no?
Yeah, you're right because Lil Yachty's over here talking about the Columbine in a song, and everybody was bumping it.
You actually just mentioned a joke about 9/11. Go ahead and say it.
Okay, yeah. By the way, let me clarify. I didn't say this joke. I was reading a tweet where, for those that don't know, we were going to talk about it in this podcast. We'll probably talk about it next week, about the World Cup, and Saudi Arabia apparently did very well. And, whatever. I don't know how the World Cup works. And somebody tweeted out, this is Saudi Arabia's best performance since 9/11. Twitter's is just a different animal, bro. There's no filter on Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But that's a funny joke, though. It's a sad one, right? But it's a funny one, in my opinion. I think it's
dark humor.
It's
right?
dark humor, right? And that's what I like.
I don't think it's funny, by the way, guys.
Shut the fuck. You were slapping your knee when you told me that shit. You were like, I can't breathe.
Yo, you stop lying. These people aren't gonna believe you anymore.
Nah, bro. Anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in for this episode of the Outlier Podcast. Make sure you comment a would you rather for next week's episode, and we'll mention that in the beginning of the video. Obviously, Roger has his own YouTube channels. He has 2 now. If you didn't know, go ahead and let him know.
Yeah, for sure. So guys, I'm gonna be streaming. I'm streaming right now on Twitch. That's Roger Reacts. But starting December, I'll be streaming on YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok. And you'll be able to find all those on Roger Reacts. That should be the name on all the platforms. And then obviously I have the podcast, which is the Real Common Podcast. We're gonna have some pretty interesting topics coming up Friday. So yeah, go follow them. All the links are in the description.
Yeah, as always, guys, thank you guys again. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.